Hi, I'm Catherine Comden, Behavior Program Manager at Willamette Humane Society, and I am a total dog nerd. Lucky for me, I'm not the only one. It turns out there are a couple thousand dog nerds right here in our community. If you've ever dreamed of learning more about dogs and their natural behaviors and how to train them, you're in the right place. Are you an aspiring professional dog trainer or an experienced trainer looking to become professionally certified? Well, Willamette Humane Society has some amazing options for you this fall. Or maybe you just have a dog that you wish would listen better. Or maybe you know a dog nerd. Well, stay tuned because you're in for a real treat on this week's Pets and People. Thank you for joining us, Dana, and for bringing your little buddy Skeeter here. How old is Skeeter?
Skeeter's about 5 months old.
5 months already. That went by fast. And you've been bringing him to classes now for a couple of months.
Yes.
Would you like to share just a little bit about your experiences?
We started off in Dog Smart, which is a class for the owner only, without your dog. And then we've been taking sensible puppy classes, and that was a 6-week course. And the big thing I learned is that we're training me, the trainer, and so I can train the dog.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
And I always love it when people say that, because it really means that I've made the message sink home. It is all about training the trainer and getting the people to understand that while I can come in and act as a coach and give you the steps, really you're the one living with the puppy every single day and every single night and making those lessons go home. And so Skeeter is, well, a mixed breed puppy.
Yes.
From...
Heard you needed a home in Bend?
Yep, they're one of our rescue partners, and I'm very happy that you ended up with him. He's just a delightful little guy. And we've been working in class on polite greetings. And one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people do when they're playing with their puppy and they're letting the puppy run up and greet other people is a lot of puppies learn how to sit pretty early on for a treat. And so they'll come up, and usually they jump on the people to get, he says, nope, you're not going to make me be a bad dog. I got this. There we go. So he'll jump up on people, and then they'll say, okay, that was great. Now I want you to sit. And so those two things end up getting connected.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So he wants to run up, and then he'll tag you, and then you're like, oh, great, sit. And suddenly the puppy thinks that that's how to get the people to interact. So what we want to do instead is teach a little bit of a default sit for greeting. And obviously he's got this already. You've been doing your homework, I can tell. Should be very proud of him. Because even at 5 months he says, I got this. If I sit, I just might end up with a little bit of cheese or a toy. And that's a great way to get them started. So from the train the trainer perspective, did you have any big revelations? I know this isn't your first dog, so
Right.
you've had some experience, but...
I think what I've learned is to think about exactly what you said, what we're teaching him. So if I want him to come, and the only time when he finally comes, because he's not quite as good at that as I'd like him to be, when he comes, I immediately put him in his crate, or we do something he doesn't like, or we're done playing, then he gets that I don't want to come because
Sure. If I come to
no
you,
fun.
you're going to put me in the crate, and why would I want to do that?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I need to practice more just coming, releasing,
Yep.
fun stuff.
I always tell people, have the dog either come to you or come to the crate at least 10 times more than you actually need it. So you're putting that, I look at it like a savings account, right? If you only take withdrawals from the savings account, then you end up in a deficit situation. If I'm only calling him and stuffing him in a box, or calling him and taking away the fun stuff, then why would he want to come to me? I see that you really want that toy. I do. Are you going to jump up to get it? He says, I sure am. But we can work on teaching him that's how you're going to get the good stuff, a treat and the toy. There you go. And so we ask him to do those behaviors more often than we need him to, and then we give him the freedom again. So he really wins twice. He gets to come to you, gets the praise, maybe a little treat on the side, and then he gets his freedom again. So we end up turning them into little gamblers, teaching them that if they perform the right and wanted behavior, then they're going to win. All right, buddy. So let's just talk a little bit about getting off to a great start with a puppy. So you were able to start with him fairly young. You got him at
I think about 8 weeks.
about 8 weeks old, okay. And as soon as his, he had had his first set of vaccinations and cleared for no parasites, so we had a clean fecal, first set of vaccines. We do have him come right into the puppy class then, and we do that to optimize socialization with people and other dogs. Look at that, right?
Right.
Noticing the good things. And so I'm going to turn you into the trainer, and I want you to reinforce him when you see him offering something that is good. And you can reinforce, you've got some treats there. You can reinforce him either with the toy or with the food. And so let's just play with him a little bit and see if we can find some things that we like. Let's work on some polite greetings. So maybe I'll take the toy and I'll tease him a little. And what we're going to do is we're going to teach him that if he will approach and offer a wanted behavior, then he will win. Very good. So he wins a little bit of a treat from Mom, and he wins the toy. Good job.
Good boy, Skeeter.
Yay, buddy, you did it. You did do it. I'm so proud of you. Get that. Oh, get it. Get it, get it, get it. Okay, would you walk away just a little bit, and we'll do another one.
You want me to bring with me?
He says, no way. He says, I know how to make her pay me. Why would I want to leave? There we go. Fabulous. Excellent training. Good job.
Good boy.
All right, so go ahead and come on up and approach.
Go.
Excellent, buddy. Good job. Very well done. I love how he's starting to put it together. Now, of course, that's not where we started with him, right? We first had to teach him what sit was all about. And may I borrow a little of that chicken, and I can demonstrate how to that. So if you have a dog at home that doesn't yet know how to sit, you just take some nice little treats in your hand. If you show it to the dog, he's going to follow it pretty much anywhere you go if he likes that treat. And then I'm going to hold it nice and steady and slowly come up. And as I come up, those hips are going to drop. And as soon as they do, I let him access the food. Okay? So in that manner, I can get him to follow those treats and just pop right into a sit. Now, if I were wanting to add a verbal cue to that, it's very simple. When I would bet $50 that the puppy is going to offer that behavior, then I'm going to put the cue right in front of it. So that would look like this. I would take the food away and sit, and then I would lure that sit, and as soon as he does, he gets to have the food. So that's how we begin making the verbal connect to the behavior. But I'm kind of going backwards a little bit because where we've gone with Scooter already is Skeeter. Scooter's my horse. That's why that's coming up. Where we've gone with Skeeter is to have him offer that behavior without us telling him what to do. And so that's called a default behavior. And so for that, what we do is we practice a couple of times in a row, having him pair the wanted behavior with the reward. So again, go ahead and shorten your leash just a little. Walk up to me, and then you'll lure him into that sit as he approaches. Good. And that's where he wins it from you, and he can also win some from me. Okay, and then you can go away, and we'll do that again. And he'll come all the way up.
Good boy. Let me get a little more treat. Treat management is the
Treat
difficult
management
part.
is part of the challenge, yes, for sure.
Oop, sorry.
There we go. And he
boy.
wins the treat from you,
Yep.
and he wins the treat from me. And now on this last one, since he's already done this several repetitions beforehand, no treat in your hand now. And we'll walk up, and this is the finished result. He says, I know how to make you all feed me. Fantastic. So how often do you need to practice that, do you think, before it becomes automatic? You want to give any idea how many times you practiced that before he started looking like he understood it?
A lot.
A lot. It doesn't happen overnight, which is why training the trainer involves me being, as the coach, helping you understand what the steps are, right? So coming to class is fantastic. I love having people come to class and learn the steps, but once a week in a 1-hour class is not going to solve the problem. We have to go home and practice. And then of course we're looking at generalizing. So if the dog is performing well in the living room, doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to perform well out in the front yard or at the farmer's market or at grandma's house or any of the other places. So what we do is we start taking him on the road a little bit and not being afraid to go back to the earlier steps at any time, right? So if he needs a little bit of help, a little bit of prompting with either the treat or helping him out with the leash a little bit, all of that's great. And so that's a great way to make that transition. Do you have any questions about the exercises that we've done?
No, I was going to say, though, there's many different dogs in the class, and they all learn differently.
That's a really good point.
Too.
Yeah, so what have you seen?
The little dog that's in the class now, he's really treat motivated and really toy motivated.
Okay.
And a lot of times Skeeter's kind of like, whatever. So trying to find their motivation is very important.
I think this is probably a really good choice
that.
for him. Yeah. I think we have his number on that. He says, I like it. But you're absolutely right. And in that Dog Smart class, the reason we have that initial class without the dogs there is to go through the show me the money game. And that is where you go home and experiment with toys and treats and touch and find out what is it that the dog actually wants to work for.
Right.
Yeah. So what would you say his number one reinforcers are?
Oh, well, and it's the value of the treat, which I've learned too. So every dog seemed to really like the chicken.
Okay.
Like kibble, not so exciting, not going to do as much work for kibble. But if you give me chicken, I'm really going to follow your hand around and do what you want me to do.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think he was excited about toys, but you're right, he really likes this toy.
The squeaky.
Yeah.
The squeaky floppy toys always seem to win. That's fantastic. Well, Dana and Skeeter, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. I appreciate you demonstrating how training the trainer really begins at home. And I hope to see you guys in a future class.
Okay, you will.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to Train the Trainer. I'm so glad that you guys are here. This is Nina Feltman, who is a professional trainer in Corvallis, and Michaela Boyd, who is a professional trainer in training.
Yes.
And I'm so happy to have you both here. So Nina, let's start with you. How long have you been a dog trainer, or what brought you into dog training?
Oh, wow. I've been an animal nerd all my life. And my husband and I got involved with the 4-H Guide Dog program and worked with that for a long time with Guide Dogs for the Blind, and I got hooked on dog training.
Nice.
Moved forward several years, we adopted a 2-year-old career change from Guide Dogs for the Blind, and I took him into our local dog daycare to get him playing in there. Was a trainer I had worked with before. She looked at me and says, "Do you need a job?" So I started working in the daycare, and then realized they were teaching classes too, so I jumped right in.
Awesome.
And assisted with that. She mentored me along and then said one day, "It's yours."
Oh, wow.
So I started teaching classes under her tutelage.
I think that's pretty normal. I think a lot of people will come in as with their own pet, sort of experience dog training and go, "Oh, I can do this."
I like it,
And
yeah.
So now you've been a professional for how long?
Oh gosh, I have been doing that. I've been working there for 12 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so quite a while. And then recently you participated in the Chemeketa Professional Dog Trainer Certification Preparation course, which is a huge mouthful. Tell us about that and what brought you to join that course.
I actually found out about it the day of your open house that you did, and I'm always looking for continuing education opportunities. And I thought, wow, it covers so many things. This would be really interesting. Came to the class, found out more about it, and decided to go ahead and jump in. I wasn't thinking about certification at that point.
Oh, really?
Really. But as the class went on and I realized, wow, I could do this. So.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah,
That really,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
That's
okay,
really
yeah.
exciting. Yeah. So the course you took was through the Chemeketa Community Education program as opposed to the academic side, which I thought was a great opportunity just to get the information out there for those of you who are professional dog trainers who want to be certified by the CCPDT, the Certification Council for Professional Dog Trainers, which is a third-party exam where you have to have over 300 hours of instructional time experience before you can even sit the exam. And then learn the information so that you can pass the exam over multiple domains. There's all kinds of ethology and the different
Learning
breeds, the learning theory, the instructional skills, huge parts of that exam. So how did the Chemeketa class help you?
It was fabulous. It was fabulous. A lot of the information I knew, but it really helped me solidify in my own mind, kind of organize all the information. It really helped that way. And then actually preparing for the test was not a big deal because I had learned it all. The hardest part was there was a time period after the class ended before the test. So keeping up on the studying at that point before the test.
So the Facebook group was probably
it was fabulous.
Oh, good.
It was fabulous.
Good.
I
Try
would,
to keep
every
those
morning,
exam
every
skills.
morning we went and did our questions. So
good.
Yeah, it was
good.
good.
I'm glad that was helpful for you.
Yeah.
And you actually passed that exam with a very high score.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I was
yes.
so
Thank
proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I passed your exam with a high score too.
Yes, you did.
It was very close between the two. So you
good.
prepared me well.
Yay! Thank you. I'm so glad to
Yes.
hear that you said that. So the next Chemeketa program begins. We do it both in the fall and in the spring, and we'll have another sort of meet and greet, meet the trainer, meet the instructor time where you can come if you're interested, if you have a dog nerd in your family or you are a dog nerd and you want to learn about the course. On September 17th, which is a Saturday, at 3 o'clock at the Humane Society, you can come for free. We do ask for a training treat donation. If you want to come and bring a little bag of treats for the shelter dogs, that'd be great. And I'll tell you all about the course and how you can get registered and find out all the particulars about it. You can also look for the information in the Community Education catalog, the schedule that comes out both online and in print. We'll have a nice spread in there about the course itself and all the prices for the classes and what it all entails. So since becoming certified, which congratulations
Thank you.
on doing that, how has that changed what you do, or has it changed how you handle your clients?
It has. It has helped with being able to take histories on the dogs, understand more of where they're coming from, what the needs are for the dog. It's helped with my interactions with my students, my clients. I do private lessons as well as group classes, and I think it's really helped my organization of what I'm teaching and being more clear with my students.
So with all of the information, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, so with over a decade of experience coming into that, you had kind of your scripts down, I would guess.
Right.
You had kind of your normal, and this maybe shook it up a little bit
It
for
did
you?
shake it up, and training has changed. It's changed a lot since I started working with the guide dog puppies years ago, So it gave me more exposure to a lot more of the positive type things. Not that we don't do that, we do.
Right.
But it just kind of helped me think through and organize a little bit more of what I'm doing.
And in the lecture and workshop, we do some role playing.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Okay. Well, it was good for you.
It was
though.
good for me. It was very good for me.
It challenged
Yes,
you
it did.
to be a better instructor.
Yes, exactly.
Because wouldn't it be great if all of the people that we ever work with are just as easy as the dogs?
Right.
Because I think a lot of people get into dog training because they're good with dogs.
Right. But you got to be good with people too.
You have to be good with people,
Yes.
because if you're not good with people, you're not going to be able to help the dog.
That's right.
And so having both parts of that. Now the Chemeketa program also has a practicum piece to it, which is where we get into the hands-on portion. So we spend 20 hours of our 50-hour program working with the dogs hands-on in the shelter. And students can sign up both for both pieces of the program, so the lecture workshop part plus the practicum, or they can do it separately. So I've had students that'll sign up for just the lecture workshop one semester or one quarter, and then in the following consecutive quarter bring in the practicum part. So that works both ways. But anyway, if you want more information of that, just come on down to the meet and greet on September 17th, and I'd be happy to tell you more. And so I thank you for sharing that information. I want to transition over to Michaela and greet you for coming. Thank you for coming to us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, and so you are representing CATCH Academy, which is a canine training academy. Would you like to share just a little bit about how you got started in training and then how you found CATCH?
So I've always really liked working with dogs. I've had my own personal dog. Her training history has a little bit of gaps in it because I got her when I was in middle school. It was she was a gift from my parents, pretty much. And so when I did take her to training, I was the only one in the class, and it was very traditional training.
Okay.
So I've always really enjoyed working with dogs. And then my 3rd year in college, I decided I didn't want to do math anymore.
I can't imagine.
Oh, really?
So I pretty much was like, well, I really like working with dogs. So I, of course, went on to Google and Googled dog certification programs, and CATCH was one of the first ones that came up, and so I really started looking into that.
Fantastic. And so CATCH has a neat system of teaching online and through different phases of your training program, and then at some level you're assigned a mentor.
Yeah. So they have different packages you can choose from. The one I'm doing is their master's program. So a lot of it is online. They also send you the books and stuff from different authors that are really well known in the training community. And then if you choose to have a mentor, they look for one in the area, and I got paired with you.
Yay!
Good job.
And I was so excited, to have you join us. And you're not my very first CATCH student, but I've really enjoyed working with CATCH Academy students. They keep sending me really quality people, and so fantastic. I love having you come and participate in puppy class. She gets to help organize the puppy class and help the people one-on-one. Isn't it great to have an assistant?
It is. It's fabulous.
Right?
Definitely.
Because
can't do it without them.
Yeah, I need you so much. So, and we kind of mutually help each other. So I love having you. What's been kind of the standout for you in your mentoring with me through that program?
So it's really nice to see the ideas and things that you read in the books put into practice, and you do such a good way of demonstrating it that it's much more easier for me to put into practice myself.
Great. So it's being able to see it hands-on and being there, and then getting an opportunity to try it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad. I love having you in class. And there's the CATCH Academy is a really great program that is now partnering with Willamette Humane, and I'm really excited about that partnership coming. So this fall, CATCH Academy will be hosting a week-long hands-on trainer workshop at Willamette Humane, and I get to be one of the instructors for that. I got to travel to New Jersey to meet with David Muriello, who is the founder of CATCH, also Pia Silvani, who is a fantastic instructor, and I got to mentor with them for a week during their workshop that they were teaching. It was tremendously fun,
I bet.
and helping coach all of those students, and then we're bringing that program to Willamette Humane this fall.
Cool.
So I'm so excited to be able to do that, and Chelsea Rock, who is our training coordinator, and I are going to be able to instruct that. So registration for that is actually open now, and you can visit us on our website to find out more about that, or visit the CATCH Training Academy website to find out how to register for that course. We'll be working together very intensely for a week-long 5 days back-to-back working shelter dogs, and it was different than the practicum hands-on piece that I do with Chemeketa, in that those training pieces are a week apart.
Right.
So we're often working with different dogs and going over different concepts covered by what we're doing in class, whereas the CATCH week-long workshop is very intensive dog training, and it's you're all in, you know, and you get to go with the same dogs through an entire week of training, and by the end of it, it's really pretty fun to see what those dogs are able to do and what the trainers are able to do. So that's been really exciting from that standpoint. Looking forward to those programs for fall. So we also have a Hound Table program, not a program, but a network of trainers that Nina, you've been involved in. Can you just share a little bit about Hound Table and how that's
it's been great. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to come recently, but I've enjoyed meeting the other trainers from the area and brainstorming together on different things that we talk about. It's just been, it's kind of a support group, you know, where you don't necessarily have that all the time.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So many times in our profession, it can be very isolating.
Yes.
You feel like you're the one that's supposed to have all the answers.
Right.
And this has broken down some of those barriers.
Yes.
And Michaela, I hope you can join us sometime. We will be meeting again starting in the fall, meeting at Willamette Humane. We meet once a month, and we usually share a meal together, and then we'll have some kind of a topic of interest, and that's always been a really good time.
It has been.
So, okay, so we have just a couple minutes in closing. Is there anything that you would like to tell the community about being a professional dog trainer? Kind of what's in it for you? What's the biggest reason to become a professional dog trainer?
Well, you know, I thought about that coming back from class the other night, or actually I had done a couple of private lessons, and just the joy of seeing people go, oh, my dog is fixable. You know, if you, with private lessons, it's often you're dealing with this very specific problem. And I had a couple in one day that both families just went, wow, how cool is this? We can work through it. We're, you know, and it just is so satisfying to know that you're enriching the life of a family and their dog, and you're making their relationship better, because the relationship with our dogs is so special.
Right.
And we just want it to get better and better.
Yeah, it's that light bulb moment.
It is.
When
It
you
is.
see,
It
you
is.
see the owner go, oh,
Yeah.
I get it. And the dog goes, I'm so glad you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Have you been able to experience that working with some of the people that you're working with?
Yeah, I do, and it's also really fun that they see that they can be successful and their
Yes.
dog can be successful.
Right,
Yes.
right. It's setting everybody up for success. I think we're one of the very few professions where we're training two species
Yes.
at the same time, right? And they both have to do just exactly the right thing.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Well, thank you again for joining us. You both are a tremendous asset to the professional dog training
Thank you.
community, and I'm so glad to be involved in working with you in multiple ways. So thank you for your
Thanks for
time
having
today.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in on today's Pets and People. Please come down and visit us at the shelter. We'd love to see you. And who knows, as you look through our adoptable dogs, you just might find your next #1 fan.
Ready? Yeah, sounds like that. Great. As soon as she goes perfect. And then she so funny too.
Hi, buddy. Hi, honey.